Hello everyone, my name is Terry from Skibbereen Heritage Centre, and I'd just like to show you how to most effectively use our graveyard database. So first of all, if you go to our homepage, skibheritage.com, this is what you'll see. If you click on the Graveyards tab, you will find the Graveyards database there. So on this, it gives you all the details of what we cover. We actually have two different types of record. We have burial registers from Cork County Council, and we also have graveyard surveys that we carried out as a team some years ago in some local graveyards, but they're all covered under this one database. So the very first thing we would suggest you do is find the graveyard on our interactive map that you're looking for. Now, if you find the location, many of these graveyards seem to have multiple names, as we've discovered. So your very first step is find the graveyard and click on the icon, and that will tell you the date span that the actual burial register covers. Outside of these dates, we do not have any further information. So that's your first step. What dates does this burial register cover, and establish which graveyard is the one you're looking for. But you can also search in all graveyards, as you'll see. Right, so having done that, go into our database search page, and this is the basic search page. So you can do lots of different ways. You can just do a basic search, say for Daniel Connolly in all graveyards for all dates, and just click a search. And sure enough, we have seven burial records from burial records database. And if you click on any of those, we'll just click on the first one. It just shows you this Daniel Connolly was from Kilbrittain. He died in 1942. And if you click here, this little button, View Register, it'll bring you up the original page of the register that we transcribed it off. And you can download that register if you wish and save it as part of your family tree. So that's the first search. Next one, we'll do another Daniel, but this time we'll do McCarthy. Now, any name that has a prefix, McCarthy, O'Sullivan, O'Donovan, O'Driscoll, we would suggest that you use this button here, Use Sounds Like, because that brings up all variations of that name. So again, just click Search. I'm going to not limit it to a date, not limit it to a graveyard, and search everywhere. So here we go. So we have 6 Daniel McCarthys included in our graveyard survey, and we have 94 Daniel McCarthys included in our burial register database. So again, let's just look at the burial register first. So here we go, 1947, view, and then you bring it up again. There's 1947. You can click the view register, or let's do the graveyard survey. So you can do that with any one of those names, obviously, and it brings up all over Cork County. So if you're not sure where they're buried, that's a very easy thing to do. You can search of all the graveyards that we cover. You can also search our graveyard surveys. This is the 7 local graveyards that we ourselves did as part of a survey team. So if you click into that, it'll bring you, all 6 of them actually are buried in Cork Old Graveyard, as you can see. And if you click this time it brings you up the headstone and all the names of the people buried. So the one search will do both. So that's a very handy thing to know. So we'll just click Reset there now. So now we've looked at using different names. Of course, you could just use Connolly. Now, if you did Connolly in all the graveyards, I should imagine that would take a very long time to find. But you can just click off on surname, and you can put in the date as well if you want to click it off. You can put in the surname in the graveyard if you wish, and you can look at all your ancestors' names that are buried in that graveyard. Or say, for example, you knew your ancestor, well, you're convinced your ancestor was buried in Cork Old Graveyard in 1937, and you can't find them in our database, and you're saying, but he absolutely was buried there. So what you can do is you can click everybody that was buried in Cork in 1938. So just find Cork Old Graveyard, or indeed any of them. Click it off to 1938, and again, if you're unsure, you can add 1 or 2 years onto that, and you can click Search without putting in any name, and then it'll bring you up all the names of all the people that were buried in Cork Old Graveyard in 1938. So again, you have 2 under our graveyard survey, and you can click at those and look at the headstone, and you have 28 under our burial register records, which are all here again. So, and then if you still can't find them and you think, well, it absolutely should be there, click on view the register and check yourself. Go and look at the original page. Say, well, he was there in 1938. If he's not registered on the page, he's not there. So that's a lot of different ways to check it. And obviously, like I said, you could just do my surname is Carney. So we'll just do Carney, we'll do sounds like, because that'll bring up all the graveyards. We'll do all the graveyards, and we'll do, say, 1944 plus or minus 10 years. So it's another way of searching again. So there are 18 Carneys buried in all of the different graveyards, and they're all actually spelt correctly, but a lot of the time they're not. But again, they're all over the place, everywhere from North Cork to West Cork. So it's a very, very simple search. So these would be the most common ways we'd have of using the database. And like I said, most importantly, we will be adding to, we've been doing this digitisation project for many, many years now, kindly supported by Cork County Council. How do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time. We're very, very slow and careful going around. We've done most of the graveyards in West and South Cork. We still have quite a few to do in North Cork. So if your graveyard does not appear, please bear with us and check back again. But all the graveyards that we have and all the available information that we have is on our website. So we do not have any additional information than what's on our website. But while you're there, please do check our graveyard video tours as well. Because these are quite interesting. There are various tours of various different graveyards around West Cork, and just give you a view of them, but also some stories about some very interesting people buried in these graveyards. So I hope this is of interest to you. I hope you find your ancestors in our graveyards database, and thank you very much for visiting our website.